Good evening, and welcome to the most exciting show, exciting live stream on YouTube today. If you're here, then you know that's true. If you're not, then you should be here. So this week we got an amazing guest. It's been hard to get this guy. I went through his agent. I talked to them. We sent them a check, and we got everything aligned so we can have his amazing face and a guy that doesn't need a hat to be on the show with us. So we're going to go around the horn here and let you guys introduce yourself and say hello. Just a brief introduction, then we'll come back and start us off. So HDVIBE, again, thank you for joining the show. We'll start off with you, Mr. Rick.
Hey, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. As I was saying earlier, I feel like I know these guys, but I've never met them. So it's great to be on the show and look forward to it.
Great. Colin.
You know, there's a reason we wear hats, right? So this is the reason.
Yes, we
Look at that spiked look. It's not doing so well. Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing this fine Sunday evening? My name is Colin. I go by Brock-A-Ride on YouTube. If you don't know this, I have two vehicles or two motorcycles. I have a 2017 Street Glide Special. And I also have a Pan America that I picked up last year. So glad to be here. Rick, welcome aboard. And you do get, hands down, you win the Best Background Award for the show. That's outstanding. Look at all that.
Colin, that's the hair that you usually do when you're dressed up as the village people, isn't it?
Look at that spiked look, man. Jesus.
Nice. I am Bob, go by Boating 52. I think you all know that. And I'm not going to talk about my bikes, but I did ride 110 miles this weekend. So not enough, but still a lot. Welcome, Rick. And again, before we get started, can we just get your commitment to come to each one of our houses and do the same for our garage that you have? This isn't a background. This is Rick's garage.
Yeah, that's the actual garage.
If you could just go ahead and stop over. I'm in Michigan.
Yeah, I'm in Maryland, so it's not too far.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks in advance, Rick.
Yeah,
welcome.
No worries.
Thanks.
That was one of the prerequisites for you coming on the show, that you had to do all our garages.
I think he's lying already. He said no problem.
Bodine, who do we have in the chat tonight, buddy?
I don't know. Pete, Tennessee Wingman, Tim Stars here. I saw Andy, Bob Nelson, Donna Main, Moto Ramblings, hey brother, Tennessee Wingman. Henry was here to talk to us about the line, about how many fish they caught today. And I'm sure there's more I missed. Pete's 1800 is here. So,
hey, Pete.
Welcome, everybody.
Pete, I didn't wear it, but look, isn't this nice? And I know a couple has got it. He sent this to us. Isn't this cool? Oh, you got one too, Bob. Cool.
Yeah, hey Rick, this is how you're supposed to get on the show, dude. Just saying.
Cool logo. I haven't even worn it,
of course. Totally kidding. HarleyDayRider is here and Andy's here. So
Pete, poor Pete right now. Poor Pete right now is going like, oh, that didn't work at all. They were supposed to wear those and give me some publicity.
Well, you had yours on yesterday, Jack, didn't you?
I did. Yeah. I wore mine for the Coffee with HDR show. I did.
It's good quality stuff too, man. Pretty impressive.
It's really good.
That show's really early, Jack.
It's really what, Rick?
Early.
Oh, I thought you said nerdy. I'm like,
early. Well,
yeah, it's like 7 a.m. my time. I mean, I have to get up early on a Saturday just to watch.
Yeah, but I get up at 5 a.m. to prepare. So you should get up at 7 to watch.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Rick, he's not changing. We tried it, dude.
Okay. I tell you. All right, everybody. And everybody knows me. I'm the old HDR. I've been around for about 150 million years. You know, see my beard graying here. And the missus won't let me color it, so I got to leave it grow old gracefully. So,
have you ever tried that Just for Men crap?
Oh yeah, I used to color.
You don't remember us busting his chops about that, dude? Like months ago.
We did do that.
I'd go to school. And my students would be like, "Hey, your beard changed colors overnight," and I'd be like, "Don't worry about it. You get an F." That's what I used to tell.
Shut up and subscribe.
Now, how long is that? Is that like take a couple weeks when you put that crap on?
No, when you put it on, it lasts. Yeah, probably about 2 or 3 weeks before it grows back out. So you just brush it. You brush it in.
Black right away. It goes dark right away.
Oh yeah, it'll get really, really dark. I mean,
yeah, we know. We saw it last time.
Yeah, really, really black. And then Miss HR is like, well, your hair's like salt and pepper. Leave it because it looks beautiful. And because she notices when we're out anywhere, like at a bar or something, how all the young ladies start looking at me and everything and start like wanting to walk over. And especially when I got the HDR sweatshirt on, I was like, so if I leave it gray, they're like, that's an old guy over there.
Pointing the creep out in the bar real quick.
Yeah. Look at that pervert over there. Look at that pervert over there. He's so.
Robin, a lady biker from down under, has joined Jack too. Just so you know, that's the commitment to the show. It's like
ask her what time it is there.
What
Robin.
time is it there? Like 8 in the morning.
I think she's 12 hours off. So,
what did I put the? Oh, all right. Anyway, so we'll get started here. We're going to start off traditionally. The way we start off is we are going to have topics tonight. We don't have questions anymore. We kind of got rid of that whole, what kind of underwear do you wear? And, and it makes our guests kind of uncomfortable. So we don't do that anymore, Rick.
Purple.
So that's good for you. Who said that?
I did.
it makes us uncomfortable too, Jack.
Let me look.
I wasn't watching.
They're blue.
Blue.
I didn't know.
I'm not going to go there. When you look in your pants and say they're blue, I'm not going to go there. All right. Okay. So anyway, Rick, we're going to let you kind of introduce yourself. Tell us about your bike. I told you when we start off, I thought the HDVIBE, when I found your channel, started watching your stuff, was what an amazing name. I mean, that's something that not everybody can just sit around the house and say, hon, I'm starting a YouTube channel. It's going to be called HDVIBE. And she's like, that's amazing, So, so I know we talked prior on pre-show here, but I'll let you talk to the group. Tell us where you came with your name. Tell us what you ride. I understand you bought a new motorcycle, and that's exciting. And take it away, buddy. It's all you.
Yep. Thanks, guys. So yeah, HDVIBE, as I was telling Jack earlier, actually came about in 2016. I didn't start a channel in 2016. I started in August of last year. But it actually is my license plate on my Street Glide Special, which is my first Harley that I purchased. So, the channel, as I said, I started in August, middle of August, I think, of last year, really with the idea of if there's some tidbit of information or something that I can share with whomever's watching, can learn something or learn how to do something or get a perspective on a product or whatever. That's kind of really been the goal of the channel. And I try to focus, when I start out, my focus of the channel is really tips, tricks, rides, reviews, installs, information about motorcycles in the motorcycle community. So it's, all of that kind of stuff. And it really, the channel, I hope it comes across that, riding motorcycles and having motorcycles is really a passion of mine. It's just not kind of a hobby. I mean, someone asked me the other day, is like, well, how often do you do stuff with motorcycles? And I'm like, I either think about, talk about, ride, try to teach somebody something about motorcycles every day. It's just part of my being. And it hasn't been that way my whole life. I mean, I started riding dirt bikes when I was a kid. And then I took a really long break and I bought my first motorcycle as an adult in 2015, which I still have that motorcycle. So, we talk about, I've got the new motorcycle here that I just picked up a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, but I still have my V-Star 1100 that I started out on in 2015. And then in 2016, I bought my Street Glide Special, and I couldn't part with that. But then I really wanted a Road King Special, and I picked up the Road King Special in February of 20, I think, right before everything fell apart in the world. And fortunate, prices at that time on Harleys were very reasonable compared to today. So I got that, and then... I see all this road glide content. You guys all riding your road glides, Bob and Jack, and
not me.
Not
yet. And then I actually had an opportunity. I've been doing some stuff at Gateway Harley-Davidson here in St. Louis, and I had the opportunity to take out Road Glide Special, Road Glide ST, and I had already been thinking about a Road Glide, and I found one. This one right behind us here, or behind me, and I really wanted the billiard red with the vivid black, and I also wanted the chrome. I didn't want to get blacked out. My Road King is blacked out. The Street Glide I've kind of changed to a combo. It was obviously all chrome, but then I changed my headers and the slip-ons to black. And I changed a lot of the latches and stuff to black. So, that's, kind of the bikes. The channel, I mean, I'm really appreciative of a lot of support from a lot of people in this community, which I think is a great community. I've had nothing but good experiences as I've kind of gotten the channel off the ground and gotten to know people. And like I said, I feel like I know you guys. I mean, I started watching you guys a long time ago, well before I even thought about starting a YouTube channel. And, it's been great. Obviously, I do some stuff with Custom Dynamics, and they've been a very good supporter of the channel and continue to do so. And I might be putting some Custom Dynamics on this back here in the not too distant future. Saddleman Seats has supported the channel, which has been nice. And there's been a few others. Volt Heat, which is a heated gear company, is supported as well. So, without all of that and you guys like today and Bob kind of gave me a boost a couple of weeks ago, we're the channel's growing. And it's exciting. And I'm looking forward to seeing kind of where the channel goes. And, and again, it's not really about me necessarily. It's really about what can I bring to this community? Can I help someone, even other, motor vloggers or moto content creators? I try to watch a lot of people's stuff. It at times gets overwhelming, and sometimes I don't get caught up for a while, but I try to do my best to continue to support everybody. I think that's pretty well covers, where I've been with the channel. And, I think my goal is to kind of continue down the same path. And it always helps when you get a new bike, because then you got a lot more content.
Hey, Rick, how did you get, where's the wife parked her vehicle? Because when you're talking, I'm like, how do I get another bike or two in my garage? And I feel good about parking in the driveway.
So, funny story. So when I got the Road King special, she said the V-Star's got to go, but it's still here. And then when I got this one, she said the V-Star's got to go, but right now it's still here. So, I've got a 3-car garage, and this side of the garage where I have all this stuff is kind of the single car side. So I'm still trying to figure out the best way to park them all. I've been kind of just parking them against the side wall, kind of lined up. But the problem is I have studio lights and I have camera stuff. And I used to have a couch in here because I used to watch, I have a TV and all my tool chests and all that kind of stuff in here. So right now I can only get 1 car in the 3-car garage right now. She's not real happy about that.
Your priorities are in order.
I gotta pick up my game, man. I got crap to do now.
Did you hear he said the magic word? I used to have a couch in the garage that she makes me sleep on. But I got rid of that because I bought a new bike, so I got to sleep on the concrete.
You better be careful. You got a lot of friends that know how to ride a bike. You come home and that V-Star's gone one day. You'll be like,
it's gone.
Going, Who did it? Who did it?
Who did it?
Yeah.
And I think that's what keeps channels fresh. If you can keep buying new motorcycles, your channel will grow. And I believe that, like you said, because you can, like my bike has every custom dynamic light I could think on. The only way I could do it again is to take them all off and call Custom Dynamics, say, hey, let's do it again. They're going to be like, you're crazy, man.
Yeah.
They're not going to go for that. So, and you do have some amazing vendors, and that's great to hear. I mean, to reach out to people and for them to support your channel. That's what you want.
Yeah. I mean, it was, I truly feel blessed. I mean, honestly, that they, especially Custom Dynamics, because I literally was just getting started, and of course I had to put together kind of my marketing plan, and it wasn't just like, oh, here you go, here's some stuff. It was a bit of a process. So there's some work involved, and obviously some trust on their part, and hopefully I think from their perspective they feel that it's worked out pretty good so far.
And it's funny because we had the owner of owner of Custom Dynamics on our show. Colin's guest, and he explained to us. He said he would rather have motovloggers do YouTube videos even if a channel's starting out, than to pay for a TV ad, like on the Super Bowl and pay like, $2 or $3 million for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
He gets more bang for his buck just giving you a few lights and saying, hey, install them.
Yeah.
So then he sees me put them on upside down, backwards, put the turn signals on, the headlight goes. And he's like, holy crap. He's like, Jack, man, you got to chill out, but
yeah.
Everybody needs blooper videos.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing too, I just want to mention too, is that I do ride pretty significant miles. I'm a road captain here for a ride group out of St. Louis. And, I'll ride with those guys probably, between 7,000 and 10,000 miles a season with these guys putting on group rides. And then, occasionally we'll go and do kind of a vacation trip as well. So, it's I'm busy and I have a real job too.
And just real quick, that your wife rides with you then too?
She is not a huge fan of getting on the back. She will from time to time, but if the weather has to be ideal, she has to have the right number of stops, and we can't go longer than an hour before a stop. Other than that, it's all good.
I know yesterday I got the first time my wife was out with me. We did, as I told you earlier, like 200 miles. And we actually did a video about when you have a rider or a spouse, you need the tour pack. So that video will be coming out in a couple Sundays, but she did a really good job, and it's all her perspective. It's nothing from me. And it's really, really a cool shot. So
you might as well just put that baby back on now, Jack.
Yeah, but you know what? She's going to you'll hear her say in the video that the bike runs a lot better without it. And it was amazing to get her perspective. I just sat there and listened to the sentence, and I'm like, I was thinking who I picked up and put on the back of the bike. It was some like motorcycle expert. She's like giving all these facts, and I'm like, this is amazing, But
Colin, $25 that Jack has it back on in 2 months, full time.
He will.
Okay. Well, then I can't bet you because I agree with it.
So I don't know if you've been paying attention to the chat, Bob, or not, or you guys. Oh, my dogs are freaking going crazy. But there's a drinking game that he's been saying every time we say custom dynamics. I guess he's taking a drink, so he's probably
your dog's taking a drink.
Pete's 1800.
That's
Pete's 1800.
He's going to be loaded by the end of the show.
Oh yeah.
So he's doing shots right and left. So a couple people came in after 10 Wingman, Ricky KM, Boots and Jeans, righty. Hi, Rich and Cake. How are you guys? Wind Road Therapy, Toby. What's going on, buddy? And I think you mentioned Bob Nelson earlier. And if I missed anybody, I'm sorry. I just want to welcome you guys. I came in a little bit later.
Yeah, and I just wanted to mention that Custom Dynamics doesn't sell a lot of lights for Honda Goldwings, but Custom Dynamics is trying to sell lights for Goldwings, and Goldwings are Custom Dynamics. And okay, there you go. Pete's 1800. Pete would be like, did I mail them people shirts? Oh, I'm going to send them more shirts. We'll be getting more shirts in the mail. All right, in traditional fashion, we're going to talk about some stuff here. The guys always like, hey, let's think of some topics. And I was working my way through this stuff, and I thought, let's try this. So, but Rick, if you don't mind, I'll give you a quick break, and I'll go all the way down the horn to Bob and let Bob start it off and try to give us his thoughts on this anyway. What we're talking about is motovloggers. I always get emails. It's like, you come up with the greatest topics, man. How do you do that? And I can't think before I leave the house of what to talk, or they get out and they forget. So how can other motovloggers inspire them on YouTube? So how can you get inspiration for your topics from or do you, or can you? Bob.
Wow, that's a tough one. Why do you start backwards?
So you're putting it on me.
No, I'll take one for you, Colin, here. Topics for me, I would say are, and I think we mentioned this before, probably 50% thinking about, meaning as a matter of fact, Rick was talking and I wrote down a topic, right? Because I'd like to get another bike, and I'd like it maybe to be an ADV, right? So to me, it's hearing people talk about something that maybe inspires a conversation. I was out on a ride yesterday, and I wasn't going to do any videos, but I happened to go in the dealership, and they have this new museum. So they had a bunch of vintage bikes. So I did one on vintage bikes coming home. sometimes it's just letting things kind of come to you. And I do get some inspiration from others on just maybe something they said. I never try to, even though doing something on the same topic gives a different view, I normally don't do that. But usually I just follow whatever Colin does, honestly. And so I do try to break them up, trying to get better at not doing so many just pure moto vlogs. Right. Done enough garage videos this year and some moto vlog stuff. So now a bunch of destination stuff is my next plan.
I mean, I have. You guys ever use that note app on your phone?
Yeah, that's where I put them all.
Yeah, that's what I do. So like if I come up with an idea or something, and it usually comes when you're riding, which is funny. And then I'll pull over and say, oh, let me type that in. And then you kind of expand on it. You know what I mean? Like Bob just said, he goes into a vintage. We were talking about vintage motorcycles because you came across a museum, and then there's a vlog. I ran into some people at a gas station, and they were talking about helmets. I did a vlog on it. That's what I put out today about helmet laws. I would have never thought I would do that. I just kind of got inspired by somebody. Normally, I don't like, if somebody does a topic, I'm not going to sit here and, necessarily copy it and say, I'm going to do this exact thing, just my point of view. If it comes up, it comes up. I mean, everybody does garage videos. Everybody talks about what their new bikes is, and that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, like you guys both talked about suspension. I did my suspension, 2 years ago when I put mine on. I talked about it. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just like you're sharing your experiences with your people that like follow you and stuff. And a lot of people, as long as it's relatable, I think that's the biggest thing is, will someone get value out of it? If you're just going to be talking about like nothing, no one's going to get any really value out of it. And it's, I just try to keep it real and have fun with it. That's my take. Thank you, Paul.
Okay. Rick, I'll get your thoughts before I'll throw mine in. So go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm probably not as sophisticated as you guys. I usually, things just kind of come to me and then I kind of record it and put it down. I mean, sometimes, it works. But when I do come up with the topic, I always try to, I think like Colin said, is make it something that is useful for whoever might watch the video. I've done a few that were sort of more not personal related, but sort of maybe more philosophical. And I think, at least for me, I think about it, I did it. I actually had it recorded for weeks and I just sat on it. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to put that out yet. And then a week got busy. I'm like, I don't have anything this week, so it's got to go. And it did not great. I mean, it did okay. And it's not about the numbers, but I've seen sort of the trend of my channel is not big enough to do stuff like that. I think once you get a big enough following, you can kind of do stuff like that. So from a small guy's perspective, I think it's, my ideas are always, okay, if I were new to this bike or new to this sort of motorcycle world, what would I want to know and what can I learn? And honestly, when before I started a channel, a lot of the stuff I learned about my motorcycle was through YouTube. And so, I think that's what I try to do with my channel as well, and how I kind of come up with my ideas also.
Okay, good. And I've often told other people, I truly believe Colin said it really, really well, that we all do basically the same topics. And I guarantee you that, because when I was thinking like, okay, I'm going to do something and I'll go on YouTube and search it. And I guarantee there's 500 videos that somebody already did it. There's a dictionary. There's something out. I can't remember the kids talk about when a new word is created in society, there's a certain thing it goes through. And then it goes into this certain dictionary where it's a brand new word. You'll never, ever, not in this lifetime, come with a brand new topic. It's just not going to happen.
Well, so, Jack, can I argue with you on that? I did a video about a couple years back about being a male in Victoria's Secret, and nobody had done that video. just so you know. And I don't think
because nobody talks about that out loud, Colin.
I'm an honest man. But
is that where you get your underwear?
No, it's not where I was talking about. Like when
You
you
wear
go
diapers, dude. He doesn't
shopping
wear-
with your freaking wife in there, or your
That's-
girlfriend, whatever you have.
I guess that's one I never searched for.
It's not searchable. I think it's still on my channel. I hope so.
Did you guys get candles when you were in there, by any chance?
We didn't get any candles, man. But I got a cheeky thong for her. I mean, if that makes it feel
Okay, so guys, if you're ever in a woman's lingerie store and you're buying yourself some panties, you can probably do that topic, and probably nobody else has done it. So,
So there goes all the women that were here watching us.
I don't know. Colin said not me. He was in.
Talking about women's panties?
Colin went to a lingerie store. Colin went to a
This is
lingerie store.
motorcycle stuff.
Colin went to a lingerie store with Mrs. Brunkerride, and he did a video about it, about guys trying on women's lingerie to
I know. I didn't say
make
that.
their wife happy.
Would have correct you. That's no.
Sorry, Mrs. HDR came in. She's totally stumped. You should see her. She's like,
Mary, mind your business.
Yeah.
Hey! Okay, I'll mind it. All right.
now she's doing good now. She'll be in the chat. So go down and start chatting now.
No, I'm not.
All right.
Yeah, this is
Everyone's
free
gonna be
speech.
searching
I'm
for
allowed
that
to say
video.
whatever I want.
It's true. It's America. It's free speech. You just can't.
America,
You just can't hurt anybody's feelings.
you're
We love you,
broadcasting
Mary.
publicly.
We are. We're broadcasting live in living
I
color.
can say whatever I want.
Dude, whoa. The queen.
Whoa, Mary, calm down, girl.
Hey, Jack, I'd edit a video in your room up there all night if I were you.
Uh,
I was out on a motorcycle yesterday.
that's
Here we
right.
go.
She was.
Who you're talking to?
We
she was
heard
on
you were
the-
an expert.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Note to
yeah,
self,
And-
don't piss off
and-
Jack's wife.
And remember, she cut 2 videos yesterday, so I'm not saying a word.
There you go, Mary.
Anyway, but yeah, that's my idea of topics. I mean, but Colin, I do like how you said it, that we all put our own spin on it. You know, it's I was telling somebody about that yesterday, about, you guys know I like to do demo rides and I do videos, and people's like, you don't know anything about that. You're not a mechanic. You don't know how it goes. It's my perspective of what the motorcycle feels like to me. And I'm just sharing that, like, maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't. You know, you got to get out there and try it for yourself. So I just try to do something, as you said, Rick, for the viewer, right? That's what I always look for, is what am I giving the viewer? Am I giving them something worthwhile, or am I giving them something that I probably wouldn't want to watch? You know.
Yeah.
Did you tick off your wife before the show by any chance? Or was it she just walking on you again inappropriately?
I gave her 3 shots of tequila. I think it went the other way.
She's still in Jack. She's still right in front of you, isn't she?
She is fired up. How to tick off your wife in 5 easy seconds by HarleyDayRider. Next video.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So anyway, all right. That was good. That was a good round table there. Harley 103. We can watch 4 of your 4 separate stock install videos on Harley. You get 4, and that's great, Harley 103. I appreciate that. I mean, it's definitely different, you know. And as Bob said about garage videos, I guess I just made one, Bob. Sorry, it's like it kind of happened, you know.
Hey, Rick, Toby brought up a good question for you. Have you considered using rider coach experience as content on your channel?
You know, so a few videos ago, I did one on essential rider skills. And it, again, that was one of those, it did okay. And I was actually talking to the guy that I made it with. And I said, I'm not sure. I thought the video was pretty good and the content was pretty strong, but it just didn't hit. And I don't know if it's because I haven't done enough of that kind of stuff. But I also did one on group ride tips and techniques. And I did that one pretty early on in sort of the journey, if you will, because I do ride with a group so much. And, you know, I did it sort of from my perspective as I was the tail on the group that I was with. And it did okay, but not great. So I think maybe as time progresses, maybe there'll be opportunity to do that. Like I did a skills practice day yesterday all day, And I did some footage, and I actually busted a camera yesterday. Unfortunately, it was very windy, and the camera went bloop.
No,
And
man.
my Insta360 brand new just bit the dust, but you know, it is what it is.
Ouch.
But you know, what I have been doing with some of that footage is really just using it on like Instagram Reels and stuff, just to promote the channel. And then maybe, you know, down the line, I can actually use some of that stuff for actual content, but you know, we'll see. I mean, it also gets a little dicey too, when you become an MSF instructor, that there's certain things you can and can't do, because of requirements.
I think some of those videos are helpful. I mean, I watch Boots and Jeans all the time, but when they're doing an instructional video, it just, I don't know, it helps me out, think about things.
Oh yeah.
Or inspires me to get in the parking lot more, maybe.
Yeah.
I thought this one comment kind of hit home, and this is kind of disheartening, but Moto Ramblings, my channel is staying small because I have nothing to contribute to anyone. I think Moto Rambling, and not to really piss you off in any way, I don't mean to come off wrong. Sometimes I do, because I'm very strong-headed. These two guys know me very well.
He's joking.
You know, if you live your life believing that statement, then I would say don't even do YouTube, because you're already going to fail. You have to be on here and be a believer. And I do my videos just because I think, like Rick said, it's something that I think someone would like. You don't do a video because it's going to be a hit. You know, like I can't dance. I tried in my garage, like doing one of those things, like where they dance for, and it's like, and Mary goes, "Oh crap, stop that." So I'm not going to have a viral video. And none of us are. That's just the way it goes. But don't believe that, man. I'm seriously, this is from my heart. Everybody has something to contribute back. So just do your very best, man. Get out there. And the big thing is to have fun. Don't think about it. Just do the video and have a good time and throw it up. See what happens, you know?
Hey, Jack, I think he's kind of kidding.
I think he was being sarcastic.
He's being sarcastic. We love his channel. He's a good guy and good stuff. So,
all right. So
he's trying to type something right now. No, I'm kidding.
The hell with you. Forget about my heartfelt thoughts. Then you don't deserve it.
He didn't feel that way, but he does now. Now that we
now he does.
I got to rethink some things after that, Jack.
That's right. I need some reflection time.
Got to reflect.
But Jack, you know what? You're right. If you really don't, we do YouTube for different reasons, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's a hobby, we do it, for fun, or like Rick talked about, to give something back. Hey, if you're never having fun doing it, I'm not talking about motor ramblings, then don't do it, right? Because it's not like it's easy, right? It's work. It's fun work, but it's still, I always tell people do it for the right reason.
Well, and I've seen a lot of channels, and I've had a lot of people email me. Well, I'm not going to be an Adam Sandoval, so piss on this. Well, that man earned his right to do what he does. He earned that right. Love him or hate him, whatever you think of the guy. Even Mrs. H. will tell you, she read through his book and she's like, this guy's for real. He did all this stuff. So if Harley sends him a motorcycle or Indian, so what? I mean, that's the way it goes, Will we all be that big? I hope you are. I really do. I go to bed at night and I pray for all YouTubers to grow 5,000 subscribers every night. I do. And God said, I'm not taking that request.
How do we fact check that?
I'm not taking that request.
I'm not taking that request. He said, I quit watching YouTube. There's too much skin. All right. So anyhow,
Jack made a funny.
All right. Sorry, Rick's like, I'm not growing my brand on this show. This sucks.
He's probably like, what the hell did I do getting into this crap?
Why did I say yes? Hey, Rick, we try to have fun, buddy. That's all it's about.
Absolutely.
Just having a good time. So chilling out with each other. All right. So Colin.
I'm not taking that request. Sorry.
I always pictured that's how God would talk. Like, you cannot have that. If you're asking, you should never mind. All right. Colin, go ahead. Start us off with this one.
Harley-Davidson brings out new motorcycles all the time. See at least 2 to 3 models a year. Is that the question? Or you're asking me that we want to discuss that? Yes, they bring out multiple.
Hold
now
on. Wait.
imagine. Now think
It
about
cut,
this.
it cut it off. Wait, this is the second part of this. Check this out. Hold on.
You gotta
Stand by.
learn to type in the question, dude.
It's only
It
so many
wouldn't fit.
characters.
It wouldn't fit. Somebody made them too long.
But I don't remember what the previous one was, because you can go back. You know.
That was a long time ago.
The pressure. Ugh. You think about this, guys. I mean, who was the last CEO? Levittach, was that his name? And then when he wanted to do all those model changes, and I can't recall the exact number that he wanted, but I think it was like 100 bikes and so on in so many years. And the new CEO, Jochen Zeitz, kind of took that away, or not producing as many new bikes. But a lot of those bikes, let's be honest with you, they were just like one-off model changes. So if it's a model, they might have adjusted it a little bit and then called it a new model. It wasn't like a brand new bike. So, I mean, I'm all for Harley innovating and bringing out new motorcycles. I mean, they've obviously the new Sportster that just came out, the ST model line that just came out recently in the last couple months with the performance baggers. I think it's cool that they're doing that. I don't think they should go overboard. I think, in every model year, if they're bringing in like 3 to 5 new ones that are they think that are going to do extremely well, or, if they've done marketing research or anything, I'm all for it. I don't think they should go just making model changes just for the sake of adding a new model, if that makes sense. Just adding a part or two. Like a lot of people were really pissy about the CBOs, right? Not getting the 131. I mean, you can get a bike for basically $10,000 to $15,000 cheaper than a CBO, and then add that money back into it, and you're going to get the same bike with the same engine, right?
Yeah.
So that's my take on it.
Yeah. Go to the next part B, if you don't mind, Jack.
So we already forgot. See, I didn't even read that.
You know what? I don't know how much I have to add to Collins. I'll just tell you, I don't know if everybody remembers, maybe a year ago, it used to be everybody in the world complained about Harley-Davidson never doing anything. No innovation, no nothing. Yep. But you never hear that anymore, right? And you never hear that. I personally think that a couple bikes seems right, but who am I to decide that, right? I don't think they stick anything against the wall. I think it's too expensive to do that. I think it's too expensive to the reputation to do that.
Yep.
But I think this guy has a plan, and I think he's year 2 into it. And yep. I think we're going to see every year something. You can, Colin, you and I joke where we talk about a business stuff all the time, right? You build something to be long-term sustainable in a business, and I believe that's what he's doing. So Absolutely. What does that look like? I wish I was the expert, but just my take.
All right, Rick.
Yeah, I mean, I think about it. I mean, the now what they call the Grand Touring line, I mean, that's their bread and butter, right? I mean, those are not going to go away anytime soon. And honestly, right now, I think that's where they're making more of their money, on the motorcycle segment versus, the clothing and the financing and all the other stuff that they do. But, there's not too many of the sort of younger generation that wants these big baggers, other than, I think the STs is sort of trying to pull that in. But some of these other bikes, the Sportster S and some of these they're trying to appeal to a different audience, which obviously I think, as a publicly traded company that has to commit to their shareholders to be profitable at some level and get their share price up and have all those stakeholders be happy, you have to do some of that, right? And I think my perspective is, in reading through some of their earnings reports and what Jochen Zeitz is trying to do, it seems to me like it's a little more measured. He's just not kind of trying to do all this crazy stuff all at once. It's very precise, it seems to me. Will it work? I don't know. I mean, I think the, Collins' new bike, the Pan America, I mean, it was a huge success for them right out of the gate. But you look at the Live Wire, and that thing just died on the wire, so to speak. But they haven't gotten rid of that yet. I mean, they sort of are now spinning it, have spun it off. They're going to make it a separate publicly traded company. They have a specific dealership. So they're still trying to go that route. But I think they were just a little bit too early when they went to the electric bikes. It just, the infrastructure is just not here in the US yet.
I think you're going to see, a couple comments threw it in there. I think Ty, you were one of them, said that, eventually see a bagger with the Revolution Max engine. I don't know. You probably in a couple years. I don't see it anytime sooner than that, because you have to change a lot to get that, to make it for the bagger. I mean, that engine, the way it's designed, even though it's a V-twin, there is still a lot of things that have to go to get to that point. But I do think they hit a home run with that engine. They did not. I know it's not common. It's only in 3 bikes right now, but still, phenomenal freaking engine. So I would love to see them take that platform. But are they really going to do that though? Because that engine is very high revving, and that goes away from like the Harley faithful, right? With the low torque and the, your Milwaukee 8s, or your twin cams, or whatever your older engines are. And Harley, how often do they come out with new engines? So like usually every 8-9 years, something like that. Am I right on that, guys? It's just like 7 to 10 years. So I don't know. And when did the Milwaukee 8 come out? 2017.
Yeah,
so we're 5 years into it right now. So you might be seeing a new motor here within a couple of years, or a new engine, excuse me.
Yeah, and kind of my take on it, and I know Bob being the business guy too, and saying me looking. I mean, I've had businesses in the past, and sometimes throwing things at the wall and seeing if they stick. If you guys remember, you may not, the Street 500 and the Street 750, branded as Harley-Davidson's, not made by Harley-Davidson, obviously. Everything was plastic on it, but they were trying to say, hey, look, if we put a cheap motorcycle in our place, people are going to buy those and come back and buy a bagger in about a month after they ride this thing.
That didn't work out.
That didn't work out. We all know that. That was the goal, right? And that's one of those things, like they tried it. It didn't work. And Rick, I believe you, man, 100%. I mean, probably 15 years ago, I was sitting telling Mary one day, I said, it'd be great if somebody would take a computer chip and put it in the TV. I think that would be awesome. And today there's a smart TV. I've been before my time many, many times. And
why didn't you do something about it? You could be a billionaire now. You could be in space.
Because, but here's what I was saying. I wouldn't know you guys. And if I was a billionaire,
you know us.
That's disappointing.
I think I would be taking away something from my life.
Hey, look, everybody, it's Jeff Bezos and HarleyDayRider flying to freaking space today.
Hey, my first website that I bought back in 1988 was called usedbooks.com. Now, remember what Jeff Bezos started selling? Books. Yeah, and I was before him. So, but he's got a bald head and he's smart. So,
is that before you created the internet?
That was right before Al Gore created the internet. And we're all blessing him today for it. So, but anyway, so that's my take on it. It's like they have created things, and you're right, Rick. The electric motorcycle, which I think is awesome. We all know it was overpriced, but I don't know what it costs to put a battery on a motorcycle. I imagine it's pretty darn expensive, looking at like Teslas. But you're right, it's stuck around. So there's people out there buying it, even if they sell 5 of those a year. I mean, somebody's buying those motorcycles.
Well, now they're about $10,000 less than what they were when they first came out.
Oh, is that right? They dropped.
Yeah, they're like 20, 21 versus like 30, I think.
Hold on. Mary, we're buying an electric motorcycle. Okay. Thanks, son. All right. So now that she knows that. So
shut up, Jack.
20,000.
No, Jack.
It was funny the other day.
You're not getting laid tonight, Jack.
We're going on a ride. So get this. We're going on a ride on Saturday, right? And I told, it's like, anyway, so I told her Saturday morning, I said, well, after my coffee with HDR, hon, I said, I have to go out. I'm going to film a video of me putting the windshield on the bike. She's like, what? I said, crap. I never told her I ordered it. So, and I ordered it Easter Sunday when we were having dinner at the dinner table. I was like, buy now. And I put my, she never, hey guys and women out there, if your husband gets his wallet out at the dinner table, he's pulling a credit card out and typing on his phone, ask him what he's buying. So
My wife went shopping today. She's like, you know, I'm thinking about getting another shirt or a pair of jeans or something. I'm like, why don't you get a bunch of stuff, right?
Oh, there you go.
At some point, she's gonna see how much money I just spent on the bike. Just go get a couple extra things. So
buy whatever. You know.
Hey Jack, by the way, Chuck Hansen thought about bottling water 30 years ago, which is
good. Now I don't feel as bad.
Which is pretty
Brilliant.
good. Another one out. Ricky KM came up with the iPad before it was here. We should talk about our opportunities, guys, and inventions. If you have an idea, something, please send them to my channel, and I'll make sure to look at them.
I guarantee by tomorrow he'll have a topic on it and he'll have the business plan wrote. So it's interesting stuff though, but I don't know. And I was really skeptical too. Like you guys said, when Colin was buying the Pan Am, I said, man, don't buy that. And that's not a Harley-Davidson. Nobody's going to want one of those. And he's like, it's the next big thing, Jack. And I'm like, Colin, you're crazy. And it is. It's the next big thing. Everybody wants one. So, and I think that's great. And if they lower those by 20,000, I'll buy one. So no, it's a great bike. It's a great bike. What's that?
They cost 20,000.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah,
they'd be like free.
And then Colin put $10,000 in upgrades.
Yeah, that was the next thing. Then I added 10 grand accessories. Yeah,
yeah, 10 grand.
Can we go back to your Pan America video, Jack, please? Your demo of one.
You know, that video sucked because, you know, here's a demo ride. I never knew you could change the seat height. And I'm like, I can't get on this motorcycle. Guy's like, just run and jump. It'll be okay. And I'm like, are you out of your mind? I'll knock it over. He's like, it's a demo. It'll be fine. I'm like, dude, you're out of your mind. So he came over with this little step stool and he picked my little leg up and he helped me get on the bike like you get on a horse. And then I was like, how do you start this thing? And then he's like, both turn signals are on one side. I said, what? I said, is this a Honda? He said, no, it's a Harley. And so, but I love it.
And the whole video that he was complaining about it, I'm yelling at the TV. The seat goes down. The seat goes down. The seat goes down.
Well, not only that, they never told me if you start the bike up first, the whole bike goes down. He's like, well, the bike goes up and down like a stoplights. I never dreamed it had to be running. That just didn't compute in my head. So it's like,
that was hilarious.
So I can't wait I'm going on a demo ride here next month. So I can't wait to jump on another one. Hey, that's me. All right, this is something that all three of us has just done, and I'm sure HDVIBE, you do the same thing all the time. You buy a bike because they missed HDR. So why don't you just buy a motorcycle that has no handlebars, no shocks on it, no tires, no fenders, no stereo, no AC, no seat? And I said that would be a great way to buy a motorcycle. Then just buy what you want. So who wants to take this one first? Panel's pick.
Well, since you two have been recently doing suspension videos, why don't one of you two take it?
Oh, go ahead, Bob.
Harley pisses me off. I will tell you, and I am a big Harley guy. Everybody knows that I got a tattoo on my butt that says Harley-Davidson. But
it's sexy.
But all the things we know we're getting into when we buy a Harley, right? We know that we're going to change the seat out. We're going to put mirrors on it. We're going to do custom dynamics lights. Pete, have a drink. We know we're going to do all that stuff in addition to custom dynamics. But I have just recently put on new suspension. And video was out this morning, by the way, if you want to check it out. And I didn't know what I didn't know. So I have went from not really being mad at Harley about much of anything to being pissed off about the suspension they put on a $30,000 motorcycle. It's different than a choice of mirrors or lights or a seat to me. It is something that I just think has to be there. And if you haven't bought new suspension, I'll tell you what, I've decided, Colin, you're right. We talked about this before. First thing you should do, save money, get suspension, forget everything.
But we shouldn't have to, dude.
But
I mean, and we want to preface this, but and I know we've talked about it before. It's not like the Harley suspension is god awful. It's okay, but until you get on these, and that's what I was, thank you guys for both giving me credit and listening to me 2 years ago when I told you about this. It only took you that long to get them, but it's night and day.
We love our money.
It's night and day difference between the stock, but you don't really know that until you get on and try it, right? And I guess, Bob, I agree with you. It kind of irritates you, right? So like, why should we, on a vehicle or a motorcycle that we're spending that much money on, why can't they put more performance in those shocks? And and I know a lot of people don't understand this because they don't ride the bike. They did a huge improvement on the Revolution Max with the Pan Am. Freaking great suspension. And then I get to a Harley, and then of course, I have the same thing you do, Bob. I have the Legends, but it looks like they're listening on that aspect, but they haven't transferred it to the baggers yet. And or are we just complaining, or do we really have that right to say that? I guess is the question, because you hear some people probably in the chat that say, the Harley is really not that bad. You guys are probably over dramatizing it, or you're blown out of proportion, or is that real? Is that real world? Both you guys have just got on new suspension within the last month. You can basically say right here what it is a huge difference, right?
Night and day.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rick. I'll let you get your opinion.
Yeah, I think the reason that they don't do it is because if they did, the bikes would get more expensive and people would complain more. I don't know what the right answer is, but I also have Legends on the back of my Street Glide, and having two other bikes that don't have upgraded suspension, and like Bob said, I think I even made a comment in your video, is like when I put the Legends on, I didn't know how bad that the suspension was on the Street Glide Special. I knew when I was 2 up, I would bottom out all the time, so I knew I had to do something. And the primary reason I did it is we were going to ride in the Appalachian back roads. And I was like, I know I got to get a better suspension on the back of this thing. And I haven't done the fronts yet, but I understand once you do the front and back, it's just incredible. But, again, I think it's, my background is I'm a CPA and I'm a business minded guy. So I think from Harley's perspective, I think it's dollars and cents, right?
It's money. And that's how they do that. Everything with all their accessories.
Right.
You could look how much accessories cost within the Harley-Davidson when you go to your parts and accessories catalog.
Right.
Obviously the HD $100. They're not cheap.
Right.
But I would rather pay for it on the first side of it, I guess, in the beginning, and have it incorporated in the bike. I'd be willing to pay a little bit more if they upgrade. Not a huge amount, but we all know that they do that, and a lot of people customize their bikes, and they can do that and then get away with it.
Yeah.
You think about that though, for these companies, like why Custom Dynamics and Sierra 3D were started, why these businesses exist, motorcycle suspension, handlebar companies, seat companies, because Harley brings out this bike online. They buy a brand new and they go, okay, what the hell's wrong with this that we can fix and sell more stuff to our customers, right? They know you're going to change stuff, and they know that's the way it's going to be. And I feel the same way about the suspension, and I did a video on it, and I truly believe, I believe you guys you said have Revo A's. Rick, I think that's what you have also, right?
Yeah.
And I told on my video, if I had to do it again, I would buy the Revos and save $300 and put that money into the front suspension, because the only thing you're getting is the dial for the rebound. So, and they tell you anyway to leave it set on 3 cone. I know you love 2, and maybe I'll try that to see if there's really a reason and do maybe a rebuttal video on that. But, as I said, I try to put stuff out there for the viewers. Like, hey, I know I just spent $900, but hey, Rick, you need to spend $900 today because these are the greatest things. And I don't do that. I lay it out there like it feels good to me.
Yeah.
Roguelite Andy called me the next day and he said, you're absolutely an idiot. He said, it doesn't do any different on cornering. And I'm like, dude, you never had aftermarket suspension to know that. And it does. Even Miss HR yesterday said, wow, you're really leaning this bike over. She said, you have so much more confidence. I'm like, I know that ass end ain't going anywhere. It locks down now. You could feel the independent suspension. It's just different. It's way different. So I agree with you guys.
I think we all know, guys, it's a business, man. So
it is.
They have to make money. You know, they're going to make more margin. I mean, they make more margin on their baggers. We know that for sure. That's their highest margin bike where they're going to make more profit. And they make a huge amount of profit from their credit division. And then they make, you know, even though it's a small percentage and everybody busts balls about it, but their motor clothes 50-60% margins and then the clothing line of it. But their accessories, though, they make a ton of margin. So ton of profit off that. So you think about all these people are coming and upgrading their bikes. They're going to make more money off that in the long term. I mean, you could look at their financials and see that. So it's all business. You know, we love the bikes, but at the same time, that's their gig.
Well, and it's funny you said about the clothing is, and I told you guys before, my brother-in-law bought Harley-Davidson jeans because he said they were cut, and he was vertically challenged, and he said they were cut better, and then they fit him better. And he would go. He never owned a Harley-Davidson, you know, and he wasn't buying anything like shirts that says Harley or Panhead but he loved their jeans, and they made a lot of money from him. So, but anyway, so let's see here. We'll go with we got a few more minutes left. Maybe we can just run through one of these here. I'm trying to pick the best one. I wrote a bunch of stuff, you know, thinking that this was a 7-hour show.
Yeah,
okay, here you go. I think we can handle this one real quick. Whoever wants to take this first, about setting up your camera. And I brought this up because Bob the other day said he wanted to buy a new helmet. Then he goes, well, you piss on it because I got to put all this stuff back in there, rewire it. And that takes a lot of work for us. People don't understand. YouTubing is not a business, or YouTubing is not even a hobby. It's a ton of work, you know? So whoever wants to take this first.
I mean, honestly, I look at the helmet first and try to configure a way of getting the cameras. You know, I mean, I'm not going to buy a helmet because it's better at having a chin mount versus a side mount.
Okay.
I'm going to buy something that's going to work as a solid helmet. You know, everybody's showy, awry, you know, insert helmet manufacturer here. I mean, no matter what. And then honestly, most manufacturers, you can make it work. Is it a pain in the ass? Yeah. I mean, are some easier than others? Absolutely.
Yep.
But my number one thing before even thinking about anything with YouTube is I want to make sure that this helmet's going to last me for minimum of 5 years. It's going to fit me, you know, because showy fits differently than awry. You know, like those type things. That's my take.
Good. Yeah, you know what? It's funny, Colin, because I agree. And I think how the question came up was I was like, yeah, I need a new helmet, but I don't know if I want to switch everything out of it just to be in the butt, right? That said, Jack's like, dude, what's wrong with your helmet? Yeah. And I guess that's a question for everybody, right? You know, first of all, we know if you drop it, you're supposed to get another one, right? Mine is 5 years old. I love my showy helmet. Would I replace it? Maybe, but you know, when do you replace your helmet? I guess would be a question that I would have for everybody. I know we don't have a lot of time, but that's a question. You keep it forever, and I don't know. So
you mean like you're talking about like, you know, I've like normally every 5 years, 6 years you're supposed to replace them.
Yep.
I'm trying to think because I've only had mine for like 3 years. So I have an HJC from like 7 years ago that I rarely use, but I have it as a backup. But you probably should replace it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay, Rick.
Yeah, I'm all ears on this one because I don't have cameras like on my helmet. I use the Insta360 and I put it up on my handlebars if I'm doing something on the bike, and I just have it either point at me or point out, and I actually use a digital recorder for the sound.
Yeah.
And there's certainly times I'm still trying to figure that out. And I use a HJC Arfa 90S. I've had that one now, I think like 2 years. I like the way HJCs fit me. So I don't know that I would ever change brands, but again, I never tried a showy. I've heard those are good. But you know, for me, again, you guys are like legends in this thing, and I'm like the infant trying to figure this out. That's always my challenge, is trying to get that microphone just right in that cheek pad and making sure that I have the level set just right on my digital recorder so I don't have any, you know, peaking and then trying to adjust it in the back end. And, so I'm probably not the greatest person to ask, but, sometimes it turns out okay.
That's funny that you said about, you talked a little bit about adjusting volume and that's where I do post editing and I can adjust volume. And so, but you're right about peaking. Once you get an audio spike, it's hard to get it back. I always say, because once it peaks out, but my view is though, there's the Aurora.
Aurora.
Is it Aurora or Araya?
Arai.
What Japanese company did you buy that from?
Same one that owns Victoria's Secrets. See? Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you do that for the next show?
Your mic's not close enough.
And I can't see without my glasses, so I got to have these on.
There you go.
And see, look, I have it right here. And then so all I have is this little thing. And then this connects the GoPro.
I always like the blue little screw thing because it matches your bike. You
like the blue screws?
I do. I like the blue screws.
Oh, I can see if I got to take off my glasses.
Take your glasses off first. You'll break them. Anyway, I just, it's funny because I was going to buy a modular helmet. I couldn't figure out how would you wire the microphone in there. So when you flip it up, the cord would be hanging up there. And so I have not purchased a helmet because of an audio issue. I had to think my way through that.
Well, maybe that's my problem. I have a modular helmet, so maybe that's why
it makes it harder. So in the modular helmet, a lot of guys like Road Glide Andy sticks his in the cheek pad over here.
That's where I put mine.
Yeah, so when you close it, and people don't understand the microphone shouldn't most of the time, for most reasoning, should not be right in front of your mouth.
Yeah.
Doing podcasting and audio for years, you start popping P's, and you guys know and so you want it off to the side, so it's going to pick you up in there. I mean, come on, guys, but. My full face helmet, I told Bob that last night. I've owned that probably for 8 years. I think that 5-year rule is a manufacturer way of getting us to buy more helmets, right?
Yeah.
They don't want you to buy one and never buy one again. So I don't know. I'd like to cut one open and see the foam inside after 5 years to see if it deteriorates. But
that'd be a great video. Why don't you buy a new one and do it?
No, it has to be a 5-year-old helmet, Bob. So if yours is 5, send it over. So let me saw it. Yeah. All right. So anyway, but that's my take on it. I don't know. I mean, helmets, you don't buy your helmet to do videos, but most YouTubers will tell you if a helmet is noisy. Think how many videos you watch, like, man, this helmet's really noisy. It's windy, and they will tell you. So it does make a difference. All right, guys, we're going to go around the horn here. We are out of time. Unfortunately, we have 5 more questions. We'll push those off to another day. Maybe I'll call Rick on the phone. We'll talk about it, hey, but thanks everybody. Go ahead and say your final goodbyes. Rick, stick in the green room for a few minutes after. We'll have a little chit chat.
I think at the beginning of the show, we were talking about it, said, Jack, we only have an hour. And sure enough.
No, you guys are really good talkers.
Yeah, we are. What do we do? Discuss like 3 topics in the entire thing. We each went 20 minutes on it.
That's good.
That's
a topic. That's not a question.
That is. We did good.
We're getting better.
Wouldn't everybody like to know all the questions we were going to ask?
Wouldn't everybody like to know the question?
No, thank you guys for all stopping by tonight, this Sunday night. Rick, we really appreciate you stopping by. You're really down-to-earth guy. And again, I just love your background there. So I wish you the best of the community. And hopefully one day the 3 of us or the 4 of us can get that shit off. The 4 of us, I hate full screen. The 4 of us can all ride together.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So, but thank you,
Rick. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you being on. And if you haven't checked out his channel, he's got good content. But again, we only try to hang out with good people, and Rick is that for sure. Family guy, does a lot of cool stuff on the bike, and check his channel out. So thanks, Rick. We appreciate it.
Thank you,
Rick. Final thoughts, buddy. Wrap it up.
Yep. So again, I just want to thank all you guys for having me on. I do want to thank, all the viewers, subscribers, watchers of my content, and getting to this point, and we'll see where we go from here. And I just really appreciative of this opportunity to chat with you guys and, hopefully meet some more new people along the way.
All right. And again, thanks to everybody in the chat room. You are what makes these shows possible. And we will talk to everybody, I think, next week.
Yeah, we are next week, right?
We are next week, right? We got the
are
Dynamite.
next
We got the Dynamite Girls Motorcycle Club. They're going to be awesome. So that's
we're
Colin's
going to
guest.
be having Mr. Bry the Biker on next week.
Oh, Bry the Biker. You know what?
Bry the
No, he won't. He won't interview me. We can't have him on this show.
Nah,
No,
he's already committed. But
Bry, you're not
gonna be
coming on this
my
show.
channel. Is that? I hope it's on my channel because I'm the one that set it up.
Bry, you cannot be. He won't interview me. He's like, no, man, you're too edgy. So
You are, dude.
I got a gray beard. I can't be edgy. All right, guys. All right, thanks everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye bye.
See you guys. Bye bye.
How do you end this show? Oh, here it is. Do you